Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. And one last thing, don't forget to be awesome. Yeah, man. Sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching The Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about Impact Wrestling for January the 6th, 2022. And also we'll be talking about AEW Rampage for January the 7th, 2022. So yeah, man. So we're gonna start off with Impact Wrestling, and yeah, man. Overall, man, show it was okay. It was fine for what it was. Usually nothing much happens on the go home shows. The best thing on this show was that Jonah versus Jake something. That was the best match on this show. Yeah, and all they did Thursday was set up for Hard to Kill. That's on Saturday. So yeah, I'm gonna go through Impact Wrestling quickly. I'm not gonna go through it like I usually go through it with the reviews, so I'm gonna go through this one quickly. So yeah, so our first match we had the 6-women's tag team match. It was Tasha Steelz with Savannah Evans in her corner, Lady Frost and Chelsea Green versus Jordynne Grace, who is the digital media champion, Rachael Ellering and Rosemary with Havoc in her corner. Chelsea Green, Lady Frost, and Tasha Steelz won the match after Chelsea Green hit her finishing move, the Unprettier, to Rachael Ellering to win the match. And so yeah, so all 6 of these ladies, they will be competing in that Ultimate X match, the first ever Knockouts Ultimate X match. And with this match, why are they teaming up when they fighting on Saturday? And so yeah, man, so that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Moose, the Impact World Champion. He was backstage and he spoke. So yeah, so I'm reading this off of Fightful. So shout out to Fightful. And so yeah, so Moose, he has said that he knows that he's done a lot of despicable things to get where he is today. So he said, just imagine what he's willing to do to keep the world title around his waist. Moose has said that most champions would complain about having to defend his title in a triple threat match, but he's actually looking forward to it because on Saturday night, he's going to prove why he's the greatest world champion in all of professional wrestling and why he is the wrestling god. And so yeah, so that was it from Moose. And so yeah, man, so right after that, man, we had our match, Jonah versus Jake something. And so yeah, man, so Jonah, he wins the match with a tsunami. And so yeah, man, so right after the match, we had Josh Alexander. He came out, he attacked Jonah, and so the security tried to break both of them up. And then you had Josh Alexander and Jonah, they fought off the security people. Jonah had hit a series of senton bombs to Alexander. And then, yeah, and then Jonah, he had brought out a table, and he pinned it against Josh Alexander's injured ribs, and he set up the table, like in the ring. And he put Josh Alexander on the table, and then, not Bronson Reed, that's his former name. Jonah, he went to the top rope, dove off of the top rope, and hit a tsunami on Josh Alexander through the table. I don't even know which one hurt it the most, him going through the table or Jonah landing on top of him off of that diving splash. Probably both. But yeah, man, that was it with that, man. And so yeah, man, so right after that, man, we had our match. It was Masha Slamovich versus Sandra Moone. A Northern Lights bomb to Moone to win a match. So Masha Slamovich wins the match. So it was a squash match. And so yeah, so right after that, we had Steve Maclin. He was backstage and he spoke. Steve Maclin, he was talking about his one-on-one match for the X Division Championship against Trey Miguel. how he finally got his championship match, and then Gail Kim had walked in, and Gail Kim had told him like, hey, if you lose to Trey Miguel, then you're not gonna go after the X Division Championship anymore as long as Trey Miguel is the champion. And so yeah, man, and so yeah, and that was it. And so yeah, man, so right after that we had Gia Miller. She was backstage. She interviewed Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green. And so yeah, so I'm reading this off of WrestleZone. So shout out to WrestleZone. So yeah, man, so Green, she had said that the accidental chair shot won't affect her at Hard to Kill, but Chelsea Green, she is worried about Matt Cardona. Green, she had said that Moose had got exactly what he wanted, and so Matt Cardona, he agreed with Chelsea Green, and so yeah, and Cardona, he said that he would do anything to win, or Chelsea Green rather, she said that Matt Cardona would do anything it take to win the Impact World Championship, and Chelsea, she said that she knows that Matt can do it. And so yeah, so that was it with that. And congratulations to Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona for their marriage. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had a match, and it was so we had Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, with Matthew Rehwoldt in her corner versus Mercedes Martinez with Mickie James on commentary, the Impact Knockouts champion. Oh yeah, Mickie James. I'm gonna talk about Mickie James in a minute. We had Deonna Purrazzo. She hit her finishing move or submission move, the Venus de Milo, on Mercedes Martinez, and it was a counter. So yeah, so Mercedes Martinez tried to go for a finishing move, the air raid crash, and then Purrazzo had turned it into Venus de Milo, and so Martinez tapped out. So therefore, Deonna Purrazzo wins the match. And so yeah, and then right after the match, we had Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo. They got in each other's faces. And remember, they can't touch each other, so they can't touch each other, or the match is off. And so yeah, so Mickie James, she started to hold the title in Deonna Purrazzo's face. And so yeah, and then they went their separate ways. And so yeah, man, Mickie James, man. So on SmackDown tonight, they announced the Women's Royal Rumble. They announced every single person that's in this Women's Royal Rumble, or mostly everybody. And Mickie James is a part of the Royal Rumble. And so that dude, like, that shocked me, dude. Like, it really did. Because she signed with Impact Wrestling, and she's going to WWE to compete in this Royal Rumble. So yeah, man. And then another thing about it, like, yeah, WWE, they ruined it. They ruined the surprise. They ruined the surprise by announcing who's in this Royal Rumble match. When the Royal Rumble should be kept as a surprise. It always been kept as a surprise. And you know, not only that, but why would Mickie James go back to that company? Why would Mickie James want to go back to WWE right after what they just did to her? Like, they fired her, they sent all her stuff in a trash bag and sent it to her house. And dude, they've been embarrassing her ever since she been there, dude. Ever since she's been there, they embarrassed her. They embarrassed her, called her names, called her fat, you know, like, talked about her age and all that stuff. And, you know, and they fired her, sent her a trash bag, put all her stuff in a trash bag with her name on it, and sent it to her house. And, you know, she made a big deal about it. She made a big deal out of it, man. So I don't know why. Why would she go back to that company after they treated her like garbage? Like, she lost respect, man, for me. Like, she lost respect for me, man. Like, I don't like, why would you go back to a company that treated you like garbage? Like, why? Why would you do that? Yeah, I was hearing people saying, could it be a partnership? I doubt it. I doubt it. WWE, they are not going to work with anybody, let alone Impact Wrestling. What makes you think they're going to work with anybody? They don't like working with anybody. They monopolize the whole professional wrestling business. So why would they work with Impact Wrestling? I mean, it's a possibility, but I doubt it. I doubt it, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, so Mickie James, she was announced for the Royal Rumble in WWE, and which was a shock to me. Like, I did not see that coming, and that's why you never should have revealed it on stupid SmackDown. Should have just revealed it for the Royal Rumble. Could you imagine the pop that Mickie James probably would have gotten if you would have saved the surprise for the Rumble? But yeah, so that was it with that. And so right after that, man, we had the Inspiration, who are the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. That's Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay. They had their little talk show, and the Influence got involved, and so they started fighting like a bunch of schoolgirls. and that was it, man. Terrible. So yeah, right after that, we had a tag team match. And it was Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus Johnny Swinger and Hernandez. And so yeah, so we had the end of days and an assisted splash to Hernandez from Fulton and Austin to win the match. So therefore, Ace Austin and Madman Fulton wins the match. And so right after the match, we had Fulton and Austin. They attack Hernandez and Swinger. He had ran away. Austin and Fulton, they Pillmanized Hernandez's arm with a chair, and they gave his arm a concerto. And so yeah, so that was it with that. And so yeah, man. So right after that, man, we had Gia Miller. She interviews W. Morrissey backstage. So W. Morrissey will be competing in that triple threat match. He'll be competing in that triple threat match at Hard to Kill on Saturday. And so yeah, so once again, I'm reading this off of WrestleZone. So shout out to WrestleZone. And so yeah, so Morrissey, he said that he didn't have a single friend or a fan or a supporter in this business when he came to Impact Wrestling. But when he hit rock bottom, he did it alone. And he said he doesn't need any of the fans. He doesn't need any friends. And he sure as hell doesn't need Moose. And so yeah, so that was pretty much it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had the main event. And it was Karl Anderson, who was one half of the Impact World Tag Team Champions, with Doc Gallows, who was the other half of the World Tag Team Champions, and Violent by Design, Eric Young, Deonna, and Joe Doering in his corner, versus Heath, with Rhino in his corner, Eddie Edwards, Rich Swann, and Willie Mack in his corner. And so yeah, so referee ejected everybody from ringside. And so I was like, what was the point of them being out there? And so yeah, man, so we had to end the match, man, we had a cutter. We had a cutter to Heath to win the match. So Karl Anderson won the match and earned an advantage for his team in the Hardcore War. So that was the stipulation in the match. Whoever won the match would have gotten an advantage of the Hardcore War. And so it usually go to the heels. So Karl Anderson won the match and won an advantage for his team. And so right after that, we had the heels. We had the Good Brothers. They came in and they attacked Heath. And then the rest of the baby faces came out to help out. And then the heels that came out. So everybody got out. Everybody that's a part of this Hardcore War, they came out and they brawled to end off the show. And that was pretty much it. And yeah, that was it with Impact Wrestling. I'll make a quick prediction on Hard to Kill. So yeah, man. So we have Trey Miguel versus Steve Maclin for the X Division Championship. I'm going with Trey Miguel to retain his championship. We have from Ring of Honor, we have Jonathan Gresham, who is the Ring of Honor World Champion, versus Chris Sabin. So yeah, Ring of Honor is being revamped. So as of right now, Ring of Honor is not a thing right now. Gresham, he could defend his championship anywhere, at any promotion. So I'm going with Jonathan Gresham to retain his championship. And then we have the Hardcore War. We have Doc Gallows, Karl Anderson, Eric Young, Joe Doering, and Deonna versus Rich Swann, Willie Mack, Eddie Edwards, Heath Slater, and Rhino. And so yeah, I'm going with the baby faces. I'm going with the baby faces to win the match. And also we have the Ultimate X match. First ever Knockouts Ultimate X match. We have Rosemary, Chelsea Green, Jordynne Grace, who is the Digital Media Champion, Tasha Steelz, Lady Frost, and Rachael Ellering. If I had to pick, I'm going with Jordynne Grace. And also, we have a match. We have Josh Alexander, the Walking Weapon, versus Jonah. I'm going with Jonah, bro. I'm going with Jonah to win the match. And also, oh yeah, so we did have news. So the Inspiration will not be defending their championships. They will not be defending their Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships because they were exposed to someone that had COVID. So they had to self-isolate themselves. And they don't want nobody else to get exposed. So the match is off. So there will not be an Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship match. And so yeah, and also we have for the Impact Knockouts Championship, we have Mickie James, the Impact Knockouts Champion, versus Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. I'm going with, yeah, this is a tricky one. Because yeah, Mickie James, she's gonna be a part of the Royal Rumble. So are they gonna bring her into WWE as the Impact Knockouts Champion? Are they gonna take the title off of her and put it back on Deonna Purrazzo? And if you do that, the question would have been, what was the point of taking the championship off of Deonna Purrazzo in the first place? It wouldn't make any sense, bro. That's why I was like, man, Deonna Purrazzo never should have lost that title. I was like, Deonna Purrazzo should have held that championship by the end of 2021. She should have went into 2022 still the Knockouts champion. Dude, she held that championship. Dude, she won that championship in the middle of a pandemic, bro. When the pandemic started. Like, she won, like, she came in right after she was released from WWE. And then I think a couple of weeks later or a couple of months later, she won that championship. And she held it throughout the pandemic when they had nobody in the crowds. And she lose a championship. She lose a championship at Bound for Glory. No, and I was mad about that, man. I was heated about it. I was like, man, Deonna Purrazzo never should have lost that title, man. Like she held that championship the longest. She should have held it a lot longer than that, man. I don't even think she passed Taya Valkyrie's record, because Taya Valkyrie, she held the championship longer. I'm going with Mickie James. I'm going with Mickie James to retain her championship, because if you put it back on Deonna Purrazzo, it's not gonna make any sense. Because, you know, like, what was your point of taking it off of her? Only to put it back on her. So yeah, so Mickie James, she's gonna retain a championship. And yeah, and right after that, we have the main event. We have for the Impact World Championship. Triple threat match is going to be Matt Cardona, always ready Matt Cardona, versus W. Morrissey versus Moose, the Impact World Champion Moose. So yeah, I'm going with Moose all the way. Moose to retain his championship. And yeah, man. And so yeah, so that was it with Impact Wrestling. That was it with Impact Wrestling. The review. Show was okay. It was decent, semi decent. But the best thing on the show was that Jonah versus Jake something match. That was the best thing on the show. But yeah, man, that was it with Impact Wrestling, man. And now let's talk about AEW Rampage. AEW Rampage was good. It was a good show. The Adam Cole, Jake Atlas match was really good. Main event was good too. So yeah, so the AEW Rampage for January the 7th, 2022. And yeah, man. Oh yeah, I forgot to say this, man. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, because I'm here each and every single week, man. Wednesdays for AEW Rampage. Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite. Thursdays for Impact Wrestling. Fridays for AEW Rampage. And then Saturdays and Sundays are for our pay-per-views, man. WWE, AEW, and Impact Wrestling pay-per-views. So yeah, man. So AEW Rampage, just like Impact Wrestling, are taped shows. So on AEW Rampage, we were in Newark, New Jersey. And so yeah, man, so our first match of the night, we had Adam Cole, baby, versus Jake Atlas. And so yeah, man, so this was really good, man. So yeah, so both of these guys, so they were in NXT together, but they never fought each other. So yeah, so both of these guys, they try to out wrestle each other. And so Cole, he had knocked Atlas off of the top rope, and Atlas, he landed hard on that ring apron. And so Cole, he had a backstabber in midair to Atlas. He was right on the money with that one. And so yeah, man, so Atlas, he fought back. He had a baseball kick to Cole, followed up by a tope suicida, followed up by a springboard drop kick to Cole. So that was nice. And so yeah, so Cole hit a Ushigoroshi to Atlas, and he kicked out. And then Cole hit a brain buster on Atlas into the knee. And so yeah, Atlas hit a suplex, turned into a power bomb to Cole, and he kicked out. And then yeah, man, so this spot right here is what got Jake Atlas injured. Because yeah, spoiler, we have social media, and social media like to spoil everything. So yeah, Jake Atlas, he got injured on Rampage. So yeah, man, so Atlas, he had got caught with a super kick in midair, and then on the landing, he injured his knee. He had injured his patella. I think they said on commentary his patella. And so off of the landing, dude. So yeah, so Cole tried to go for the Panama Sunrise, and so he couldn't, because Jake couldn't get up. Because he's hurt and all that, so he couldn't get up. And so yeah, so Cole, he went for the knee bar. He went for the knee bar instead to Atlas. So Atlas had tapped out. So yeah, quick thinking from Cole to go up with something new, or to come up with something different, because usually he doesn't, win with submission holds. He usually wins by pinfalls. So yeah, so Adam Cole wins. And so yeah, so right after the match, we had Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly that came out, or Fish and O'Reilly came out to go celebrate with Cole. And so Cole, he says he's gonna beat Jake Atlas's ass. And so yeah, so they were about to gang up on Jake Atlas. And so we had Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends came out to chase off the Paragon. The Paragon. So yeah, that could be their name. That could be their name, the Paragon. So yeah, man. So it's a rumor. It's it's a rumor that their name is gonna be the Paragon. Paragon sounds cool, but yeah, man. So the Paragon, so they chased off the Paragon, and so yeah, man. So we had news from AEW Rampage. Tony Khan said that there will be news on Rampage. So Cody Rhodes, he will not be able to defend his TNT Championship against Sammy Guevara due to medical protocols, I think they said. And so yeah, so instead it's gonna be Dustin Rhodes taking Cody Rhodes' place. So it's gonna be his brother taking his place versus Sammy Guevara, and the winner will be the interim TNT champion. So an interim TNT champion. And so yeah, man. And so that was it with that. I don't know what it was that took Cody out. I don't want to speculate, but speedy recovery for Cody. And so yeah, man. So right after that, man, we had Tony Schiavone. He was backstage. He interviews Andrade El Idolo with Jose the assistant in his corner.
Andrade El Idolo, why last week on Rampage would you distract Sting and Darby Allin so the Acclaim could attack them from behind?
First, Tony, this problem is not with Mr. Sting.
Okay.
My question is, why this little kid work for Sting?
Darby Allin does not work for Sting. They are friends.
Okay, how you know?
I know them very well.
Okay. I'm so busy, and Jose too. We need new assistant.
Okay.
So, Mr. Sting, name your price for this little kid.
I'm sure Sting and Darby will not want to hear this at all. Excalibur, let's send it back to you.
And that was it, man. So we could be seeing Andrade versus Sting or Andrade versus Darby. Yeah, man. So yeah, man. So that was it with that. And so yeah, man. So right after that, man, we had Hook versus Aaron Solo with QT Marshall in his corner. So yeah, we had a section of a crowd that had signs that said Hook section. So that was really cool, man. And so yeah, so Hook, he gave body shots to Solo. And so yeah, so Hook, he took control of the match, and then QT from outside, he had grabbed that Hook's foot, and so Solo, he took advantage off of that, and so he took control of the match for a little bit, and then Hook started fighting back. He had an exploder suplex to Solo, and so yeah, this was funny right here, man. So the crowd, they started chanting, "We are hookers, we are hookers." Dude, they just started chanting it, man, over and over and over again, man. It was really funny. And so yeah, so Hook, he started pounding on Solo. And so to end the match, man, we had Hook, he had locked in his submission move. He called it the Redrum submission move to Solo to win the match. So Solo taps out. So therefore, Hook wins the match. And so yeah, so right after the match, man, we had QT. He got in Hook's face. And so Hook, he had walked away. And so QT grabbed that Hook's arm and told him, don't walk away from me. And so yeah, so so QT tried to get a cheap shot on Hook. And so Hook saw it coming. And so Hook, I gave him a suplex. And so yeah, that was it, man. That was it. Great stuff, man. Hook is the best. Hook is the freaking man, man. Dude, that's how you book new stars. That's how you book up and coming stars. That's how you book him, man. They are doing it right with Hook. And so yeah, man. So right after that, man, we had Ruby Soho and Rehwoldt versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who is the AEW Women's World Champion, and Jamie Hayter with Rehwoldt in their corner. So yeah, so both of these teams, they went right after each other. And so yeah, so the heels, they took control of the match during a commercial break. Picture, of course. And then we had a hot tag to Rehwoldt, and she took out Hayter. And then Rehwoldt hit a 619 to Hayter. And then Baker had broke up the pin. And then at one point, Hayter, she accidentally elbowed Britt Baker in her face. And so yeah, she got distracted off of that. She was trying to check on Britt Baker. And then Rehwoldt, she had rolled up Hayter to win the match. So Rehwoldt and Ruby Soho wins the match. And so right after the match, we had Baker. She had pushed Jamie Hayter. You know, she was upset with Jamie Hayter about, you know, what happened and all that stuff. So yeah, so it's going to be Rehwoldt versus Dr. Britt Baker for the AEW Women's World Championship at Battle of the Belts. And so yeah, they kept mentioning over and over and over again that Dr. Britt has never beaten Rehwoldt. So yeah, so on Saturday it's gonna be the first time that she actually gonna beat Rehwoldt. And so yeah, man, so right after that, man, we had Dan Lambert with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. They were backstage and they spoke.
Let me get this straight. Now it's Dustin and Sammy for the interim TNT belt? Tony, are you booking championship matches or the next episode of Roads to the Top? I don't know who does more sucking up. Cody to Tony or Tony to the TNT reality show executives? All I know is there's a lot of sucking going on at AEW right now. No wonder Bambi Rhodes is your chief brand officer.
Not to break your heart, Dan, but if you're expecting things to be run around here with some logic, I don't know. Maybe the top 5 ranked wrestler Scorpio Sky would be in the title match.
There doesn't even need to be a match or an interim title. I should be crowned champion immediately. I haven't been pinned in 221 days.
True.
I haven't lost a singles match in over 300 days.
Fact.
And I can beat both those guys on the same night if I had to.
Easily. Sammy obviously knows we have unfinished business with him and Dustin. I'm going to knock you on your ass again any night of the week. Tomorrow, we'll be watching very, very closely.
And so yeah, man. So that was it with that, man. That was it with that. The interim TNT Championship. Yeah, I don't know why we need an interim TNT Championship. Just cancel the match, or just do something. I don't know. I don't think we need an interim champion. Just wait till Cody come back. You know, when he's ready to come back. But yeah, man. But yeah, they might. Yeah, they're gonna crown an interim TNT champion, and then when Cody comes back, then they're gonna unify the titles. So that's exactly what they're gonna do, and the winner will be the real TNT champion. That's what I think is gonna happen, because the same thing happened with the Cruiserweight Championship in NXT, when Jordan Devlin, he was the Cruiserweight champion, and this is right when the pandemic happened too, so he couldn't travel, so they had to come up with this Cruiserweight tournament, and Santos Escobar won the championship. He won the title, as El Fantasma or something like that. When he was wearing the mask and all that stuff. And right after that, he turned heel, and then he became Santos Escobar. And so, yeah, and the rest is history, man. But, yeah, man. So, yeah. Right after that, man, we had Mark Henry. He interviewed Daniel Garcia in 2.0, so that's Matt Lee and Jeff Parker. And so, yeah, man. And he interviewed Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. So, split screen. So, he tried to interview them. And so, yeah, 2.0, they cut Mark Henry off. And so 2.0, they were talking trash to Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. And so Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz, they did not want to hear them. They didn't want to hear their mouths. And so, yeah, they went right after 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. They found them. And so they fought backstage. And so, yeah, man. And so, yeah, Mark Henry, this was funny, man. Mark Henry, he had said that it looks like the fight has already happened. It's now time for the main event. So, yeah, man. And then, yeah, we were already in the main event. And so, yeah, so it was the no disqualification, no holds barred match. So, it's Daniel Garcia and 2.0 versus Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz. So, yeah, I could not keep notes in this match, man. I really couldn't. So, yeah, this is a no disqualification, no holds barred match. So, yeah, everybody was fighting outside of the ring. We had trash cans and, socks filled with baseballs or balls in general. And so, yeah, man. So, yeah. And then the heels took control of the match. And then Santana and Ortiz, they had an assisted cutter to Parker. And then Santana hit a frog splash to Garcia. And then Matt, he had brought some powder out. And he just started, he just threw the powder in Santana's eyes. And he hit a DDT on Santana. And so Garcia, he had grabbed the ring bell. And he had blasted Kingston with the ring bell. And then Kingston had kicked out of that. And so we had a triple suplex to Kingston from 2.0 and Garcia. I think it was through the announce table. Not through an announce table, through the timekeeper's table. And so, yeah, so Santana, he had took out the heels with chair shots. And so, yeah, at that point, everybody was going back and forth. And so, yeah, man, so to end the match, man, we had Santana, he had the discus lariat to Parker to win the match. So, shades of Mr. Brody Lee, the late, great Mr. Brody Lee. So, Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz wins the match. And so right after the match, man, we had the heels. They attacked Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. And so, yeah, so 2.0, they taped up Kingston to the ropes. And so Jericho, who was on commentary, so Jericho is always on commentary for AEW Rampage. So Jericho, he was on commentary, and he left commentary, and he went to go save his boys, Santana and Ortiz. And so, yeah, so he chased off 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. And so, yeah, so Kingston, once again, he still doesn't want Jericho's help. He doesn't approve of Jericho. He doesn't like Jericho. And yeah, man. And Jericho once again saying that he's not here to help Eddie Kingston. He's here to help out his boys, Santana and Ortiz. And so yeah, man. So that was it, man. Match was good, man. It was good. But yeah, man, I could not keep notes in this match. Could not keep notes in this match. But yeah, man, that was it. That was it with AEW Rampage, and that was it with Impact Wrestling, the review. So it's all jammed up in one video. So yeah, man, if you like this video, man, hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell to be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded, because I am here each and every single week, man. Wednesdays for AEW Dynamite, Thursdays for Impact Wrestling, Fridays for AEW Rampage, and then Saturdays and Sundays are for our pay-per-views, man. WWE, AEW, and Impact Wrestling pay-per-views, so I'm here. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man. And oh yeah, forgot to talk about the Battle of the Belts. So the predictions for the Battle of the Belts. So we have, so yeah, for the interim TNT Championship, we have Dustin Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara. So I'm going with Sammy Guevara to win the match. And then we have Dr. Britt Baker, the AEW Women's World Champion, versus Rehwoldt. Going with Dr. Britt Baker to retain her championship. And then we have, for the FTW Championship, we have Ricky Starks, who is the FTW champion, versus Matt Sydal. So I'm going with Ricky Starks to retain this FTW Championship. And yeah, man, that's it. That's all the matches for Battle of the Belts. And yeah, man, and of course on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite, we got CM Punk versus Wardlow. And we have Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin. And we have Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb on Dynamite next week. And so yeah, man, so that was it with that. Comment down below, man. Tell me how you felt about AEW Rampage. And yeah, man, and I'll see you guys. I'm not going to be able to watch anything on Saturday because I have a wrestling show to attend. I'm booked for the show as security, so I'm working as security for the show. And yeah, man, so I'm not going to be able to do anything on Saturday. You know, I'm not going to be able to watch it live. So I don't know when the hell the review is going to go up for those shows. It will be jammed together because I'm not going to do two separate videos, so I'm going to just jam it together. So yeah, man, so whenever it comes out, you guys will know. You guys will know. So yeah, man, and yeah, see you guys when I see you guys. And once again, guys, thank you for the love and the support for the show. Thank you, and thank you, man. And yeah, man, and this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.